Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, we're starting to work on the Studebaker again, and got all my parts in, gaskets, made in the good old USA, not Canada. Rear seal, I may or may not put one in it. I do have a Snaky Pete if I decide to. And let me see, hoses, oil filter, that's the canister type, of course. I'll show you that in case somebody hasn't seen one before. So it's not a spin on, got the gasket, drops in, you got your little lever there. Made in USA also. I'm not a Ram kind of person, but it's the only thing that was available at the time. So we've got some new points, 2 sets of new points because it's a dual point distributor. Brake lines, we got new belt, and there's just one belt on it. There's new max cylinder in there, all wheel cylinders. Did not get brake shoes. There's our rings and our clips for our chrome. So if we need shoes, I'll just reline them. I've got all the lining material and rivets. No use buying them. And I don't even know if you can buy them. I didn't even look, but we wouldn't even consider that anyway. So let me see. I think that's about it. I know the rubber hose. We may have to replace some steel lines. I don't know. Gas tank does not smell good at all. I do have the old tank. I took off my other Studebaker, and it's actually good. I bought a new tank for it because I was worried about it. I thought that the guy had put that white tank liner in it. Turns out he didn't. So this one here, I'll show you what we got here. Some rust on the cap and inside the neck, but it's got a terrible smell to it, like a the lacquer kind of smell, like maybe it's lacquered all up inside, turned black and gummy. So we'll know for sure when we take it off. But anyway, all right, we're going to keep at it here and get this crank all wrapped up here where we can do some more honing and get this thing right. And then the rings, they're a little tougher to get off the pistons than I figured they were. They are stuck hard, and of course most of them are just breaking. And as you can see, so we're going to get them all off there, and then I've got a ring groove cleaner. I'll show you it, and we'll get these pistons cleaned up. Them are lines on it from the knocking it out. They're not scratches. So. And like I said, we're going to measure these, and I'm sure they're going to be fine because I don't think there was a lot of miles on this car. Just regular flat tops, no valve release. Anyway, we'll get at it. All right, folks, we're going to get started here on the Studebaker. See if we can get something finished up on it, and try to get this engine together hopefully today. Hey.
Hey. What's going on, Jonathan?
What are you doing?
Nothing. I was just checking the stuff out.
That shirt.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I gotta go.
All right, folks, we was getting ready to put the engine together, and had a little visitor there. Not sure. Oh, there he is. So here's our pistons, and you can see I got the rings off of that one. These rings are stuck bad, and so we're either going to break, bend, or crack, or hit, or whatever we've got to do to get all these rings out. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to clean the ring grooves up and start getting things ready to go back together. All right, you can tell how long it's been since this thing's been run by the owner. folks, I think we're going to hit a little brick wall here. This engine, of course, wasn't stuck when I got it. I think it was stuck really hard at one time and somebody else had gotten it unstuck. But they never pulled the heads off. And I didn't beat these pistons out or nothing like that. But if you look at this piston, I hope we can see this on camera, is the top of that piston is not straight. It's like the whole thing is curved down. And I don't know whether it almost looks like the whole top of the piston is smashed down, like maybe they got it unstuck and it had water in it and it compressed it down, or maybe the rust did it. You can see how much buildup's on it. Alright folks, after my nearly 40 years of playing with old cars and stuff and pistons and building engines, this is the worst stuck set of rings I've ever seen in my life. I mean, most of these rings come off in pieces, and there was only about two pistons that they wasn't terribly stuck on. They were all stuck, but some of them just did not want to move. And then of course we got our one piston that's bad, number 5 cylinder, and I checked the cylinder out good and I don't see any issues, but evidently there must have been water or maybe enough rust to hold that piston tight enough that when they turned it, they actually bent it, the top of the piston down to the glands. So these other pistons, you know, this engine would have never, if we'd ever got it started, it would have never been right. And that, you know, that's the reason I went ahead and tore it down, because I was kind of worried about it. But so now let's see if we can get another piston on the row, and we'll run in there real quick and get that done. And all right folks, I've got the pistons cleaned up to the best they're going to get. This is a ring groove cleaner. Now you can get this in a cheap version that don't have that circle on it, but I've gotten so used to using this, you know, you can adjust it real quick, and it's just a good unit. And D-line, I'm not familiar, so this is probably sold under a bunch of different names. Anyway, basically what we've done is we went in and cleaned up all the grooves, and the pistons are ready to clean up, and get a bucket of diesel and start doing some cleaning and measuring, checking. I did go ahead and order one piston for this because I think all of them are going to be fine. So cylinders don't look bad. We're going to clean up again and hone, and then clean all this up, and we'll go ahead and start getting 7 of them in. That's number 5, so it's driver's side, so we can go ahead and, you know, get the head done, get the head on the passenger side, or get the heads done and get the one on the passenger side. So we're going to keep rolling with it, even though we don't have a piston, but I think we'll be fine, and it'll be in this week. And carburetor kit, I think that's about it. I've got everything else I need, enough to go ahead and get it back together enough to roll. So the problem with this one, what I'm going to run into that is different with the Cold War motor cars, is I want to have brakes. I'm not sure whether they're going to or not. You know, it's on them, it's up to them, because, you know, they may have a whole lot bigger, more room to drive than me. And the other thing is I've got an automatic, so we've got to hope that this works and that them rubber hoses don't blow and all that good stuff, because you know, it's been sitting a long time. So we're going to try it either way. But all right, we're going to keep at it and I'll show you more. Okay folks, so we're kind of figuring out that this engine's right much worse than what we thought it was, and I guess what threw it off is the fact that it wasn't stuck, that it rolled over. But that was because somebody else had gotten it unstuck, I'm assuming. So I can see a bunch of corrosion behind the valve. But anyway, so here's what we got. Got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 valves on this head, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valves on this head stuck. So there's 10 valves out of 16 stuck. So what we're going to do is go ahead and tear the heads down, and we'll look at these valves and see how bad they are. And I actually have a new set of valves, intake and exhaust, because like I said, this thing's a lot worse than what I thought it was. And we're trying to speed things up a little bit, and so we're going to go ahead and see if we can get these valves out. It's going to be kind of a chore to get them out, because I know some of them are stuck really hard. And like I said, this engine definitely, I guess we're just lucky the cylinder walls are good. I mean, really, they could be a lot worse. And we're going to go from here. Plugs are new, so we'll probably pull them out so we don't break them, and then we'll get to cleaning and getting these valves out. All right, folks, we've got part of the valves out. We've got all the springs off and everything, but we've got 4 in this head that is stuck. Seats don't look too bad. I'm really impressed with them. So we can get them cleaned up good, and we can grind them. And then the quite a bit of rust in that port. A little bit of a mouse nest. A little rusty in there. These are exhaust ports, but got cobwebs in that one. And I'm going to show you why I bought new valves. As you can see, I bought an entire set of intake and exhaust. They're not originals, they're aftermarket. It needed them, and not necessarily yet, but it will need them here shortly, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so these valves, all 4 are stuck. And you can see they're stuck hard. So what's going to happen when I go to hammering on these hard is I'm afraid I'll end up bending something. And then also a good idea, if you ever run into this, if this is a valve that you're going to replace and you're not going to use, and even if you're going to replace or you reuse it, it probably wouldn't hurt, but if you'll grind around it just a little bit, because if you go to hammering on it and it mushrooms, you can come down here and you can break your valve guide real easy, and you don't want it to mushroom out at all. So they're tight as can be, and you know, a couple of them will move a little bit, but we've still got all these to do. We've still got 6 stuck in that head, so we're gonna see if we can get these out and then maybe start cleaning this head up. All right, as I'm cleaning, just wanted to show you the exhaust port. What a mess, eh? I'll do some of that porting like a Cold War motor. Alright, you can definitely see why they were stuck. We got them all out of this head, not the other head, but this head. So I'm going on and cleaning it up, and we're going to clean out these valve guides, because you can imagine if the valve looks like that, what the guide looks like. So you got to make sure you get everything clean, and we're just going to keep cleaning up until we can get this head back together, and then we'll get it together and jump on the other one. Alright, so the seats were a little pitted. They wasn't terrible. You can see all the seats are ground. These seats are 45 degrees, these are 30 degrees, so you got to make sure you do them right. Now my stone was a little big for the 35 or for the 30 degree intakes, but you can see it got out to the side and cut a little bit. You can see the line in there, but that's okay, because that's just all we really done was unshroud the valve a little bit, so it'll actually flow a little better. We're not going to go through and do a bunch of porting or anything like that. We are going to go in and clean it up some though, and we'll use that excuse anyway. And anyway, so I've got to go pick up some valve grinding compound. I cannot find it. I think I used the last of it actually lapping in a valve on a steam engine, and a little bit more brake cleaner and stuff, and maybe some red paint or something, I don't know. But we should be ready to start throwing this one back together here in just a little bit. All right, folks, started to work on these valves and ran into another issue, which is just par for the course and not a big deal. I had ordered them valves, and I ordered them for a 56 Packard, and evidently Studebaker must have used a little bigger valve. Okay, although they look the same, that's a 2-inch valve, and that's a 194. So it was only hitting on the outside edge, and I can't have that. We can only do the exhaust. We got to wait on the intake, so I'm just going to keep on working on it, and then once we get some more parts in, which hopefully should be soon, with the piston's in Greensboro, it's right down the road, so it'll be here. It may even be Tuesday, because I know the holiday, but it's Labor Day weekend, I believe, and I can't keep up with everything. I've been really busy towing, and other issues also. You know, they've truck breakdowns, just stuff like that. You know, it's just par for the course around here. But A lot of fatalities here lately, and been dealing with a lot of that. Been, you know, helping getting the downloads on the computers on the cars, and Highway Patrol's had to do a lot of investigations. We've had another motorcycle fatality, and so it's just been really busy and haven't been able to get much done, and that's okay. But we can get caught up. It's not an issue at all, and all we need to do is get that one piston in, and we can go ahead and throw that bottom end together, and the finish it up, and then the intake valves, which they'll be here quick. So I just ordered them for a 352 Packard, assuming that the Packard was the same as the 352 Studebaker, and for some reason they're not. I don't know if it's maybe I got them for a 55 instead of 56, or what the deal was, but anyway, the right ones are on the way, and so we're going to call it quits on this. Keep working on it, but we'll call it quits on the video, and I'll go ahead and see if we at least get something on there and to do with the Studebaker, and we'll get this thing finished up pretty quick. We're going to invest some time into it, so I'm going to go ahead and get it knocked out and get caught up with the boys up north. They're way ahead of me. I waited a little longer than probably what I should have, but I didn't know all of the wrecks was going to come in and all the other stuff that I've got going on. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye. Yeah, Justin, I don't know what it is, but here lately, you know, ever since your accident, you've been so much more helpful. I mean, you don't talk back anymore, and you know, now that you can't think for yourself, I don't have any issues with you.